Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm just going to go through all of the things that I love as a first-time mom. My baby's only 7 months old now. His name is William. So these are all the things that I love, like personally, just as, you know, first-time mom, just finding things that, you know, I didn't really think about in the beginning that I was going to really like. You know, some duh things aren't, you know, on there, like bottles and diapers and stuff like that. These are just little things that, you know, I found that work the best so far for him, for his short little life so far. So these aren't in any specific order. These are just in the order that I, you know, thought of, and I just wrote them down. Every time I have the door open, she wants to go outside. So yeah, these aren't in any specific kind of order or anything. I just put them down as I thought about them. This isn't like a, you know, first favorite to least favorite kind of thing. These are just kind of how I put them in there. So the first thing I have on my list is the Huckleberry app. Now, the Huckleberry app I absolutely love. I use this on a daily basis, several times a day, all day pretty much. This is where you can track his sleeping, you know, your baby's feedings, how often you change their diaper. You can track their temperature, if they're sick, all the medicines you give them. I mean, just everything. And it tells you, you can have a reminder set to, you know, give you a notification whenever it's time for them to eat. And it also uses the information you put in, like based on their age, when they need to go to sleep. So it'll tell you, you know, when to put them down to when they're tired but not like overtired. So that's what I really like. I really like this app. I use it all the time. It's free. You can upgrade it for like a membership or whatever. I don't know how much it costs. I just have the free one. The second thing on my list is, I don't remember what it's called. I know it's Graco. Oh yeah. I'll have everything linked in the description box below, like everything that I can find that I bought from like Amazon or Target or Walmart or wherever. My dog is just making all kinds of noises. But yeah, everything will be linked in the description box below. So it's a Bassinet Swing. We found it on Amazon. I know they have it at Target as well. There was a point in time where my baby wouldn't sleep in his Bassinet, and he only liked to sleep, you know, in something that was moving. And we found this because I didn't feel safe for him to sleep in his actual swing. This will raise up to turn it into a seat, and it will also lay down flat to be like a bassinet. And I really love this because he slept in this for the first few months of his life, and it's just amazing. It's got like different, you know, swing settings, so where you can set it how fast or slow you want it to swing. It's got different sounds, it's got music, so he really loved this. But this was just really helpful, especially whenever he was a newborn and he had to like be in motion to be able to sleep at night. The next thing is the Halo bassinet. I really liked this. I got the glide sleeper. I didn't like the idea of the one that had like the 4, you know, legs on the bottom. I just feel like that would have gotten in the way. So we got the less expensive one that with the 2 legs that just go straight under the bed. I really liked this. He slept in this whenever he gotten a little bit older, and I always had him right next to me in the bed. It was mesh on the side so I could see him. The side of the bassinet, you know, what is it called? It collapsed. Side of the bassinet collapsed, so it was easy to take him out and put him back in, and it was just really comfortable. He slept really well in it whenever he got a little older, to where he didn't need that motion to be able to sleep. The next thing is the Owlet Sock. I don't know if, you know, a lot of people have heard about it. It's pretty popular. I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about it, but if you haven't, it's a little sock that you put on their foot for whenever they sleep, so you can monitor their heart rate and their breathing. It really came in handy for me. I was especially afraid of SIDS because I'm the kind of person who thinks of like the worst possible things that could happen, and SIDS was at the top of the list. Like, I was terrified that my baby was just going to die, like in the middle of the night. This made me feel so much better. It's a little sock that goes on their foot, and it's connected to like a little hubble that I kept on my nightstand, and it plays music anytime the sock would like slip off or whatever, and I never heard the sound that it made whenever they stopped breathing. Thankfully, I never got to hear that sound, so I don't really know what it sounds like, but it's supposed to light up red and play like a little alarm. And this too also comes with an app to where you can see like the stats, like see what their heart rate is, see what their O2 levels are. It also shows you like their sleep cycles at night, so it'll show you when they're awake, when they're in light sleep, and when they're in deep sleep. And I didn't know that whenever I first got it, so I thought it was really cool. Now the next thing is really important in my opinion, at least for my household. It's a sound machine. Now we have the sound machine so he can sleep with some kind of white noise. It especially helps now that he's in his own room, since the living room and his room share a wall and the TV is right up against the wall where his room is. The sound machine really helps. We have dogs that drop their heavy toys on the floor, and anything that we do whenever he's napping or whenever he goes to sleep at night, that way, you know, we don't have to worry about being, you know, tiptoeing around and being super quiet. You know, he can't hear. The one that we have, it's the Hatch sound machine. Again, this one has an app. You can set the different colors of the night light that you want it to have on there. You can set, you know, what sound you want. You can set how loud you want the sound to be. I think it also has a timer, but I've never used the timer. And you can also dim and brighten the night light as you want. Now this is something that I've talked about before. It's the little formula holder with the different compartments that you can put pre-measured formula in. I love this. This came in handy at night whenever he ate multiple times a night, and it also comes in handy to keep in the diaper bag now whenever we go out. All I have to do is just pre-measure formula in there, and then whenever it's time for him to eat, open the little cap on top and then just pour the formula in the bottle with the water in it, so that you don't have to take the big can with you everywhere you go. It's already pre-done, so you just have to put it in the bottle, shake it up, and then give it to the baby. Now for the first month and a half of his life, I exclusively pumped, and I had the Spectra pump, and that was great. I loved that pump, but the pump that I really loved was the Elvie Pump. Now it is a very pricey pump. It's like $500, but it is amazing. I could pump in the car, I could pump while I was doing chores, I could pump while I was holding him. Like, it was just amazing. Like, you weren't attached to like these big huge bottles, and you didn't have to carry around like a big machine everywhere you went. This was just, you know, one that could fit in your bra, and it was just wonderful, and it was very convenient. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is a bouncer. We had the Ingenuity, like the self-bouncing one, and I mostly just kept that in the bathroom for whenever I had to like shower or get ready for the day. That way I had him right there next to me, and you know, I didn't have to worry about like what he was doing or if he was okay. He was in the room with me. Now the self-bouncer, I was a little hesitant to buy it because the reviews on Amazon, you know, said that it didn't bounce very well and that it was just very light, and the baby didn't really seem to like it, but I really liked it. I found that, you know, it wasn't too light, it wasn't too heavy, it moved just enough to keep him comfortable, and it's actually very like plush and very soft. I really like it. We don't use it so much now because he's bigger and he really can't fit it in anymore, but that's definitely something I'm gonna keep to use for the next baby. Another thing that we like to use are the Wubanub Pacifier. We have all different kinds of these. I was hesitant at first to get these because, you know, some moms said that they never used them, some moms said that they love them, but we love these things because Will has to have a pacifier to go to sleep. It's gonna be hell weaning him off of these whenever the time comes, but as of right now, whenever he drops his pacifier in the middle of the night and wakes up, all he has to do is just search around a little bit, and then he finds the leg of one of his little toys and then pulls it back to his mouth, and he can put it in that way. The next thing I really like to use whenever he was a newborn, not so much now, whenever he was little, we definitely used the Boppy Lounger a lot. I would just sit him in it next to me whenever we were on the couch, and he could just lay there and he could see me, and I could do whatever. I could eat, I could, you know, watch TV, whatever, and he could be right there next to me on the couch. Now this next thing I used a lot whenever he was little, and we bathed him in the sink. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a little flower and it's made of like a foam. You put it in the sink and it keeps them really warm whenever you bathe them, because I mean, think about it, the sink is like metal or ceramic or whatever your sink is made of. It's cold. So I really like this because you just set it in there, it fit in there perfect. You set the baby in there and then you bathe them, and you don't have to worry about them freezing. I felt really bad at the thought of the idea of him, you know, sitting in a really cold sink while I bathed him. It's not fair, you know, like you already can't, you know, control your body heat enough. Like why add cold material to your butt to make it worse? You know what I mean? So I got this and I used it for a long time until we were able to move him into the big boy bathtub. The next thing I used a lot whenever we went out places and whenever he was little was the Boba Wrap. It took me a minute to learn how to like wrap it around, but I loved using it. There was a time in his life where he didn't like to be set down and he didn't like to be left alone, so I would wrap him up on my chest and just do chores around the house, or you know, whenever we went out to the grocery store or went to the doctor or whatever, you know, I didn't have to carry him in the stroller because he really didn't like it very much. I'm sorry, my nose just itches really bad. He didn't like being in the stroller. In his car seat, he liked to be held. He didn't like to be in there. So that came in a lot of handy whenever he was a little tiny baby. Now that he's bigger, I use the LILLEbaby, I think is how it's pronounced, that carrier. I use that for whenever we go to the store, for whenever we go to his doctor's appointments. Again, it's just so nice to have them on you and carry them that way instead of lugging around the gigantic stroller. The next thing I want to talk about is his baby monitor. I don't know the exact model of it, but it's a Motorola one and it's got a big screen on it. I can see him very clearly. It's got a temperature gauge on the top corner of it. I don't know exactly how accurate the temperature gauge is, but it gives me a pretty good idea. The camera part of it mounts on the wall and it's very, you know, sleek. It's very discreet. It's awesome. It also connects to my phone, so I can see him whenever, like as long as the monitor itself is connected to Wi-Fi, I can bring up the camera anytime I want on my phone. It doesn't have the best picture, but that's okay. I don't need, you know, anything, you know, super fancy. It's a pretty mid-ground monitor and it does what I need it to do. I can hear him very well. I can see him well enough to where I'm comfortable. I love it. The next thing is this thing right here. This is amazing. It is his little bouncy seat. He loves it. He's had it since he was like 4 months old, 3 months old, 4 months old, something like that. He loves it. He sits in it all the time and he, you know, will watch his little show, will watch the dogs, he'll play with the stuff around the little, that little white part right there. He loves this. I can sit him in it when I'm cooking and I know he's okay. I can't say enough how much I love this thing. He loves it so much. It will be a sad, sad day when he outgrows this thing. Alright, so that is everything that I love as a first-time mom. So thank you so much for watching. Again, anything that I mentioned that I can find, I will link it down below for you. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.